We have some technical difficulties.
We'll notice a gap if there was one.
All right. So B is the distance between the covertex and the center. So from the covertex to the center, that's B, right? And C is from center to focus. So C is this.
It's a midpoint.
The center is the midpoint of all of them.
But the focus is the midpoint.
No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Yeah, the focus could be anywhere. It could be closer to the vertices or it could be closer to the center. But there is a relationship between A, B, and C. What's the Pythagorean theorem? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Yeah, this is not that, but it's this. Okay? And I say that to tell you it's not that. It's B squared plus C squared equals A squared.
Can we use different variables?
You cannot use different variables, and guess what? For the hyperbola, you're gonna use the same variables in yet another permutation, but we can figure this out. What's the longest distance between A, B, and C? What's the furthest out from the...
No, A.
A. A is the furthest distance from the center. So look, if I'm at the center here, let me get another color. If I'm at the center here, okay, you know that A is longer than B because the vertices are further away from the covertices, right? A is along the major axis. So A is from the center to the vertex, and that has to be longer than the center to the focus. So A is your largest variable, right? So it makes sense that the other two smaller ones must add to the larger one. Do you see? That's how you remember it. That is it. That is how you remember it. Because let me tell you, it is going to get confusing later. Okay? All right, so the two smaller ones add to the larger one. Okay. What's going on here? What is this? Is this something? All right. So, standard equation of an ellipse. Okay? Standard equation of ellipses. Well, basically it's this. Do you have to memorize it? Yeah, you have to memorize it. Okay? All right, so I'll tell you some important characteristics, however. You've got the variable, the x variable is squared, the y variable is squared. There is a plus in the middle, and it equals to a 1. That's how you identify an equation of an ellipse. And if you were walking down the street and you saw a billboard with a random equation where the x was squared and the y was squared and there was a plus in the middle and it equaled 1, you would say, oh my God, that's an ellipse. Okay? Another characteristic, though, now it could be a circle. Okay, it could be a circle. But another characteristic to add to it is that the denominators here must be different. So it can't be something over 4 and something over 4. That would be a circle. Okay? The denominators here must be different. 3 and 9, 6 and 7, 13 and 54, whatever, they're different. Now, this is how the equation for the ellipse looks when the ellipse is horizontal. Okay? The ellipse is horizontal, and how do we know that the ellipse is horizontal? Remember we said that A is the largest variable? Well, that distance, if that distance is along the x, if the largest distance is along the x, then it's horizontal. And if A is in conjunction, or if it's next to the x, if it's combined to the x, then it's horizontal. Okay? Look at this one. A is with the y. That means it's longer on the y than it is on the x. So that's a vertical one. Do you see the difference? That is the only difference between the vertical and the horizontal. That's it. So whichever variable has the longer variable, that is the axis on which it's oriented. Okay. The center is at H and K. What about the foci? Well, if this is a horizontal one, then you have to go to the right and to the left. That means you move right and left from the H. K stays the same. The vertices, same thing. You go left and right from the H. You add A. Well, one side, you're going to do both. One side is going to give you one like plus A is going to give you one vertex, minus A is going to give you the other vertex. Yeah. So it is both. The covertices are on the opposite street, right? So rather than adding to the H, you're going to add to the K. The major axis is Y equals K. The minor axis is X equals H, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Yeah. And this is the same except, they're just switched. So if the foci is on the H here, it's on the K there, and so on and so forth. Oh my God, I love this stuff. Okay, I have to pause here for.
That's a good story.
Oh, okay. By the way, here's a question. Ooh.
7.
All right. First one to give me the answer gets brownie points. How much is this distance?
2A.
Brownie points for you. Brownie points for you because from the center to the vertex, it's A, right? That means the whole thing is A and another A, 2A. So how much is this? 2B. And how much is from focus to focus? 2C. Okay?
I just made the greatest way possible.
I said 2B.
Or not to B.
Or not to C, because 2C. All right. All right. So, okay, my monologue earlier was much better than Hamlet's to be or not to be monologue, hands down.
Hamlet's monologue
Hands down.
off of your-
All right. Is this a horizontal or a vertical one?
Vertical. Horizontal.
Horizontal.
Why?
Because X and 9 are together and 9 is bigger than.
Okay, this is the larger variable, means it's A. But that's not A, right?
That's A squared.
It's A squared.
So A equals 3.
So A is equal to 3. Plus or minus 3 or just 3?
3 because it's a positive.
It's a distance. It's just a distance. So A is 3. That means B squared is 4. So B is 2. Okay? And now can we find C? Of course we can find C. B squared plus C squared is equal to A squared because they must add up to the larger one. That means C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared. That means C squared is 9 minus 4. So C is root 5. Okay? Now.
Do we do plus or minus? Or is it
No, because it's a distance.
Huh? No, it's a distance. It's a distance. C is the distance. C is not a coordinate. It's a distance. Okay? Now, I also need the center. How do I find the center? From here and here, H and K. So minus 2 and positive 1. And I have to plot that. Minus 2 and positive 1. And now, okay, if A is equal to 3, right? So now I need to write down, and this is a horizontal one, right? So now I need to write down where the covertices are, where the vertices are, and where the foci are going to be. So for the vertices, right, it's going to be H plus or minus A, comma, K. So it's going to be, what was H? Negative 2 plus or minus 3, comma 1. That means it's negative 5 and 1 and 1 and 1. Right? The foci are also on this axis, so it's the same thing. Vertex and focus are analogous to each other. So it's going to be H plus or minus C and K. So focus is negative 2 plus or minus root 5, comma K. Let's do that in decimals. So it's negative 2 plus 5, negative 2 minus root 5. Jacob?
It's like 1.6. Wait, root 5?
Root 5.
Oh.
Negative 2 plus root 5, negative 2 minus root 5.
It's 0.236.
Uh-huh.
And
Negative 4.236.
yeah.
All right. And then now we have the covertices. The covertices are on the opposite street. So it's going to be h, comma, k plus or minus which variable? B. Yes. So h, which is negative 5, comma, 1 plus or minus, what was b? 2. So that means the covertices are at negative 5, comma, negative 3, negative 1. And negative 5, comma, 3. H is not negative 2. H is negative 5. Oh, it is negative 2. Good job. Negative 2. I was going off the other one. Negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. So let's plot all this, yes? Negative 5, comma 1 is a vertex. 1, comma 1 is another vertex. We are labeling these. The foci is at 0.24, which is here. And negative 4.2, which is here. And these are the foci. We put a little f next to them. And then the covertices are at negative 2, comma negative 1, negative 2, comma 3. And we call that covertices, CV. And then you have to draw your ellipse, okay? No sharp edges. They have to be curved. So curve it this way. Curve it this way. And there we go. That looks like a horrible ellipse. Please make it a little bit more symmetric. Okay?
I'm very sorry that I answered, but your circle game, you know what that really means.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what do we got here? Yeah.
This is just taking a
Complete the square. We're going to complete the square. So we're going to take out, we're going to take out the 4 only in, right. So it's 4 x squared plus 6x plus a number plus y squared minus 10y plus a number equals 3 plus 4 times a number plus a number. Okay? It has to be symmetric. So the number that goes in the first blank is what? 9 and 9 and 25 and 25. Okay, so this is 4 times x plus 3 squared plus y minus 5 squared, right? Is equal to, how much is that? 36 plus 25. 64. 64. Right?
Because I multiplied.
All right. Now, this is still, we're still not done because the equation must equal a 1. So how do I divide by 64? Divide by 64. So now, what's 64 divided by 4? 16 plus y minus 5 squared over 64 is equal to 1. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, you know, it's amazing. It is amazing. So now, where is your bigger number?
64.
64. So that's your a squared. Yes? That's your a squared. So a is equal to 8 and b is equal to 4. Okay? And now, if b squared plus c squared is equal to a squared, well, we know that c squared is 64 minus 4, which is 60. So c is the square root of 60, which is 2 root 15. Oh, 16. I was on a roll there. 48? which is 4 times 6, so it's 2 root
2. Yeah, it's 16 times 3, so it's 4.
16 times 3, so it's 4 root 3. All right. So, what's my vertex?
It's going to be negative 3 and 5.
Negative 3 and 5. Yes?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, that's the center. You're sorry, that's the center. I'm sorry. Yes. So the vertex is H, K plus or minus A. So that's going to be negative 3 and 5 plus or minus 8. That means, what are the vertices? Negative 3, comma, negative 3. Negative 3, comma, 13. No. Yes. Okay? Those are my vertices. So I got my center. I have my vertices. I need my foci. So it's H, K plus or minus C. So I have negative 3 and 5 plus or minus 4 root 3. And then I need my covertices, which is the opposite. So it's going to be H plus or minus B, comma, K. So that will be negative 3 plus or minus 4, comma, 5. So I have negative 7 and 5. How much? Oh, that was the focus here. So this is 1 comma 5 also. All right, so waiting on decimal approximations for the foci here. So meanwhile, I'll plot these. Yeah.
For the plus, it's 11.92. Or not 12.92.
Mm-hmm.
And for the minus, negative 1.
Okay. So we have, it looks like I need to recalibrate these. So I'll make this 20 and 16 and 12 and 8 and 4. So I'm at negative 3 comma 5, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Negative 3 comma 5. 2, 4, 5. That's the center. Negative 3 comma negative 3. Negative 3 comma 13. And then the covertices are negative 7 comma 5. One comma 5. And then the foci, negative 3 and 11.9. Negative 1.9. Okay. All right, so it looks like this. Okay?
The hardest part about this is just going to be remembering where do I put the plus or minus A or C to the H or to the K.
Right, so once you draw, like, sketch it out for yourself, so, like, you know, it's like...
Because honestly, like, when we have these, I could just sketch the center
Mhm.
and go with the A and B and put it to the side, but when you get to questions like these, you can't just, like, put it on the graph and figure it out.
Well, you can, though. That's what we do.
Okay.
So here's what we're going to do. Major axis, from major axis gives you your A, right?
Code name, call me Major
So
Axis.
major axis, that has a distance of 2A, right? And it goes from 5, negative 2 to negative 1, negative 2. Now, if the y is staying the same and the x is changing, that means this is a horizontal one. Huh? distance formula, or since it's like strictly horizontal,
Oh, yeah, you didn't even do this.
so 5 and -2 and -1 and -2, this distance is 2a, right? So 2a is equal to 5 minus -1 here. 2a is equal to 6. A is equal to 3. Okay? And now minor axis, that's 2b. And it goes from 0 to -4. That's a distance of 4. So 2b is equal to 4. B is equal to 2. From that, can we figure out C? Do we even need C for the equation? Do I need C? I don't need C. But I do need H and K. How do I find the center then? It's at the midpoint. It's at the midpoint of either the major axes or the minor axis points. Can you? So 5 minus 1 over 2.
Would it be the same thing as the constant numbers?
Yeah. So 5 minus 1, what is that? That's 4 over 2. So the center is at 2 and -2. And that's it. I got everything I need. Now, this is a horizontal one. So who gets the A, the X or the Y? X gets the A. So it's X minus 2 squared over 9. Please remember to square. Plus Y plus 2 squared over 4 is equal to 1. Okay? That was more fun than anything else I could possibly imagine. All right? So here we have the vertices, and the distance between the vertices is what? 2a, right? So this is equal to 2a is equal to 10. A is equal to 5.
How do you know -4 to 6 is 2?
You need to
How do
put
you
your head
decide
down.
Which is A?
The vertices are the points that are farthest away, right? The vertices are at either point. Foci gives you what? C. So, what is this? That distance is 6. So if 2c is equal to 6, then c is equal to 3. Now, if the x's are constant and the y's are changing, that means this is a vertical one. Okay, so x is constant, so this is a vertical one. All right, do I need anything else? I need b, right? Say yes.
Yes.
Yes. So a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared. That means b squared is equal to a squared minus c squared. So b squared is equal to 25 minus 9. B is what?
64.
B is 4. Okay? So now, well, technically I don't need b, I just need b squared, but that's fine. So now it's going to be, ooh, what about my center? Center is at the midpoint, and like Jacob pointed out earlier, if it's constant, it's the same as, like it's the same constant in the vertices is going to be the same constant in the center. So it's going to be 3 comma what? What's the middle of -4 and 6? It's so difficult. 6 minus 4, 2 divided by 2, 1. Okay? I know, it's not even the last period.
I said one like 6 times.
Huh?
I said one like 6 times.
Did you? Oh.
That was his motion.
All right, so now we got x minus 3 squared over what?
Over 25.
Is this a horizontal or a vertical one?
Horizontal. Vertical.
Vertical, so it's over 16. Jacob.
It's not as bad.
Over 25 is equal to 1. All right. So now, so in that one case, right? In that one, okay, so we've been saying that A is the larger number and B is the smaller number. But if the distance from the center to the vertex was the same as the distance from the center to the covertex, right? Then A and B would be the same. And if you multiply both sides by A, then what do you get? A circle, except instead of the A, we call it the R. So a circle is just an ellipse where the vertex and the covertex are equidistant from the center. Excellent, right? So that's where the circle comes from. It's nothing special. Okay?
Your opinion.
Well, it's special in a... All right. So now we're going to write these in standard form and identify the conic. How do we do this? Completing the square. You always have to complete the square. All right, so let's do that now. So it's x squared plus 2x plus a number plus y squared minus 6y plus a number is equal to 6 plus a number plus a number. Right, so what goes in the first blank?
1.
Right, and here?
9.
Right, so x plus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to?
16.
Sure. Okay, so what is that? Is that an ellipse or a circle?
Divide by 6. Oh, I get it. So you divide by 16. Never does that equal 1.
Right. So it's a circle. So when these coefficients are the same and it equals, you know, whatever number, then it's a circle with a radius of 4. Circle, the center is at negative 1 and 3, and the radius is equal to 4. Okay? That next one, my. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So, 9x squared. Well, x doesn't have partners, right? Which is fine. But from here, we factor out a 4. And we get y squared plus 2y plus a number is equal to 32 plus what?
A number.
Nope.
4.
4 times a number.
4. I meant by 4 blank.
Right. In the blank, you get a 1, and here you get a 1, so technically it is a 4. So here, 9x squared plus 4y plus 1 squared is equal to 36. And now what do? We can't have those coefficients in front of the x and the y. So you divide everything by 36. Oh my God, you see how that works? So this is x squared over 4 plus y plus 1 squared over 9 equals 1. So what is this?
Ellipse.
This is an ellipse. What is the center of this ellipse?
Negative 4.
0, negative 1.
0, negative 1. And what is A? Is this a horizontal or a vertical one?
A is 3.
It's a vertical one. A is 3, B is 2. You guys got ellipses. You guys got them. You got them. You got this. This is it. All right, so we're done. This is going to be due tomorrow.
So do you like these new seating arrangements?
I do.
It's
Really
'cause you're
don't.
farther
Josh
away.
can remind me.
Because Josh is farther away from you. No, Jacob is farther away from him. That's what.
Josh, stay back.